Hello and welcome to the Studying Chaos. My name is Kat. I publish under the pen name Cat Leo, and I do a lot of stuff on the internet at KatsChaosCafe. And today we're kind of gonna do like a check-in for the month type of thing, because your girl hasn't done anything, and you probably noticed there wasn't an episode at all last week. And then also this episode is coming out on the 19th instead of Monday, because today is Thursday. Um. So last week was not great. And I haven't really done a lot of well, I've done writing. I've been doing some writing, but I didn't get like original fiction writing done. I actually was working on some fanfic, and I just let myself do that. Because you know what? It's a form of self-care for me, and people need to find self-care uh for themselves. Because what is self care for other people might not be self care for me, and what self care for me might not be self care for other people. So there's that. Um, so I haven't really posted any original chapters this month, and also, so last week was in part stressful and exhausting, um, because last week my stepdad had a work event downstate where like he got on a bus at work up here, and then they drove the bus, like they took a bus downstate to this event, and while he was there, my stepdad passed out. Apparently he gets a sudden drop in blood pressure and he passes out. And apparently he gets dizzy a lot. Um, so my mom had to like drive downstate to go pick him up from the ER because somebody passes out, so they take them to the ER. So that was stressful. He's fine now. He went to his regular doctor on Friday of last week. And he has to check his blood pressure regularly. He has to take the blood pressure cuff to work with him, so that if he does randomly feel dizzy, he needs to do is check his blood pressure because he might be getting dizzy from a drop in blood pressure type of thing. I don't understand it entirely, but you know what? Yeah, that happened. Um, Another thing that happened, which we're gonna see if I don't cry because every time I've talked about it, I've started crying. So, you know, I don't know if I've actually talked about the menagerie of animals that are in this house. Um, Two cats, a dog, and was three guinea pigs. Um, so I have two guinea pigs, and my mom and my stepdad had Gizmo. The reason I say had is last week, on Thursday, I came home from work and I was like, all right, I know it's late, but I need to clean their cages, and I'll clean their cages before I give them the night's lettuce because I give them lettuce at night. Um, and I realized that Giz had not eaten his lettuce from the night before. Um, and I was like, Giz, are you okay? And he didn't respond. I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid in that moment before I opened up his cage fully to find him, like to move his hidey. I was honestly afraid he would have already passed away. Gizmo did not leave food behind ever. He was still alive, but he was very lethargic and just like he would sigh and stuff. And he was still breathing though. So I went upstairs and I got my stepdad. I was like, hey, I need you to cuddle with your pig because I think something's wrong. And because he was just laying there and he was just letting me full on pet him. Normally, you had to coax him a little bit into letting you pet him or only give him like he preferred to be get scritches like under his chin or on his top of his head. Um, my stepdad was able to pick him up without any fuss, and he held him for almost an hour that night. And like I cleaned all the cages, both cages, and I got his set up and made sure he was comfortable. I figured he wouldn't eat it, but I wanted to make sure he had the option of a piece of lettuce and a carrot just in case. by the next morning at 7 a.m., Giz had passed away. And, sorry, I'm currently crying again. So we no longer have three piggies. We only have two. We have Parker and Paris, who are actually my guinea pigs. Giz was my parents. I hadn't realized how attached I got to the little man. Um, I cried a lot on Friday, in all honesty. But I've been his main caregiver for like 2 years. So, and he was very vocal. It's very quiet down here in the basement now. Like, I didn't realize how much noise he made, and he filled, and he's gone, and now it's really quiet. The girls, like, almost all of Friday did not squeak at all, even when I like offered them carrots or anything. They took them, obviously. They took the food, because they love food, but they didn't like squeak, really. They like squeaked like once that day. And it's when my mom came home, because that morning, that last Friday, was my stepdad's appointment. So they had to leave super early because they had to drive downstate to like farther downstate, for his appointment. And before they left, my mom checked on Giz, and that's how we found him. So right when I woke up was finding the, the Gizmo, and again, I hadn't realized how attached I was to the little man. Um, I'm going to be doing an episode, probably the next episode is going to be talking about grief, and not just like the grief of like experiencing it with a pet, but in other regards as well. But that's a very sad update for you of we lost one of the piggies. The other two seem to be in good health. Um, they're eating fine, they're drinking fine. It's just it was Giz's time, I guess. Because he was fine like Tuesday, Wednesday. He was fine, and then he just didn't eat his lettuce, and by Friday morning he was over the Rainbow Bridge. So, so last week was a lot. So there was no episodes last week for the podcast. I streamed a couple of times. Friday I streamed, but it was like a stream of I need to do something, anything type of stream. Um, yeah, there also wasn't a Coffee Bunny community newsletter this month just because I was working extra hours, and so like I was working more than I usually did. And then on top of that, this month is the AuthorTube Writing Conference, and I volunteer with it. So I was running moderator training sessions at the beginning of the month, and then um this week, like yesterday, I did I sent out like 30 plus emails yesterday. Um Thankfully it was like I had a template, and then I could copy and paste the template in, and then copy and paste like the correct people into it to connect people with because it was connecting presenters slash speakers with their moderators. So if you're part of the AuthorTube Writing Conference and you're presenting and you ask for moderator, I'm the person that sent your email. Um but like I did that in like under 3 hours, and it gave me a headache, y'all, because I had two blaringly white screens on both my monitors. Because I had spreadsheets and then the doc I was copying from on one screen, and then the other screen I had the email open. And y'all, it led to a headache. I had a headache. I'm currently. Oh, this is the closest you've got to him. I'm currently puppy sitting. Somebody that my sister uh works with um had to go out of town for the day, like early this morning, and they wouldn't get back till later in the day. And so they have a 7-week-old puppy, and so he can't really be left alone, quite yet. Like he can't be left inside for extended periods of time like that. Um, so he came over last night, and he's currently sitting behind me taking a nap. Because like about every hour I've been taking him outside to go potty, and my cat is afraid of him. I'm seriously watching my cat just like stare at him like, "What are you? Are you gonna hurt me? What are you gonna do to me?" Even though the puppy's asleep. So I'm puppy sitting right now, and the cats are so confused. Festus, what are you doing, baby? Yeah, I'm a baby. Baby's a puppy. So Hephaestus is not pleased about that. Um, but so I've been doing a lot of my spoons have been going towards things like more work hours, the AuthorTube Writing Conference, which I'm happy that I'm volunteering with it. I love the AWC, and the people that I work with are great. It takes a lot of spoons in for this specific thing that I volunteered with. It takes a lot of spoons the month of the event, versus like spreading the spoons out. And like I volunteered to do the emails and stuff. I was like, if you guys want, I can allow myself to hyper focus and just power through the emails in one day. Um, I could have asked for help. They would have happily done it. But I also know that like both people also have like work from home jobs. They're self-employed, so they have a lot of things already on their plates. And I was like, I can do it. It's fine. I've already essentially set aside this month for this. Um, so yeah, I've posted some fanfic chapters this month. I haven't really posted any original work chapters. Hopefully today I'll take some time and I'll work on Briar's Hollow because I want to be working on Briar's Hollow. I think by here, buddy. Um, so yeah, there's just a lot of stuff happening. And then next week is my injection. So there's a day and a half, possibly 2 full days, that I'm gonna be down for the count because my injection knocks me on my booty. Um, like it's like getting punched in with fatigue. It's like a snap of the fingers and suddenly I'm hit by fatigue. Sometimes it's a couple hours, sometimes like the last injection I had, it'll be like an hour and boom, I need to go lay down. So also trying to make sure I achieve things before that. And then the AWC is the 27th and my injection is the 25th. So the 25th and the 26th are for injection recovery. And then the 27th, 28th, and 29th are for the AWC. So we'll see what happens. Um, so yeah, there's your chaotic update. It was not a happy update. It's quite a sad update considering Giz. May he squeak the other side of the rainbow bridge very happily. Get to cause mischief wherever he is and gets all of the lettuce. Um, yeah. I think the next episode is it probably going to be talking about grief in several aspects of like how I've handled the grieving process with a pet like Giz, um, or how I've handled grief in other ways. In the past, I've lost several grandparents, and also when I was diagnosed with my ulcerative colitis, in a way, I kind of grieved myself. And I'll explain that more in the episode about grief. Because studying chaos is diving into to various things and topics. And you know what? It's pertinent to my life right now. It's also pertinent to my writing as well. So, well, we're going to talk about grief probably next. What chaos have you been committing? And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.